Hello, good morning. Do you know what an Earthship is? Don't feel too bad about it, because neither did I until last night. I was on YouTube. I got lost in a YouTube vortex. I was looking at off-grid living and somehow I ended up on Earthships, and then I discovered there was an Earthship here in Brighton, which is where I have just parked up. Earthships were invented in America by a gentleman called Mike Reynolds. They are intelligent off-grid houses crafted from mostly recycled materials, which use the energy from the surrounding nature to power and heat the home and provide fresh running water. Anyway, so I was on this YouTube vortex and I googled Earthship Brighton, and they just so happened to have a tour today. Here we are at the Brighton Earthship. It's based at Stanmer Park and is a short 10-minute walk from the country house there. It sits nestled in a hill overlooking the stunning Sussex countryside. This Earthship was completed in 2006 and Mike Reynolds' team flew over and helped to build some of it. The most important thing about Earthships, and it's the foundation of them, is this curved back wall which goes all the way around the back of the house, which is made out of tyres. I'm going to tell you more about that in a minute. I just got given a tour by a lovely lady called Gillian, and I'm going to recount some of the things she told me. What she gave us was 6 points of what made Earthships special, and I'm going to run through those 6 points with you. Don't take my facts for 100% because my memory's not spot on, but I just want to give you a basic introduction to Earthships, and if you're interested to find out more then Google it. The first one is this. The glazed front. We're south facing. You can see now I'm very much in the sun. That captures the heat from the day, and you'll see here we've got one set of glazing and then another set of glazing, and the sun goes through and hits the back wall, which charges it up and charges it over the summer months, charges the back wall up, and then the heat comes back through in the winter. And you can check the statistics online of how that works, but it's very effective for keeping cool in the summer and keeping warm in the winter. It was amazing actually when I walked in there to notice the temperature difference. It really shifted. So there's a little bit of a chill in the air out here. When we walked in there, it was very mild and there's no heating on at the moment. Going to tell you about point 2 of Earthships, and that is the build. The whole point is they use recycled materials. Here we are, the Earthship's just behind us, and we're at a little point here where they've done a demonstration so you can see how the wall is built. It's built out of tyres. All the tyres are stacked up in a brick-like structure and stuffed full of mud, and it creates a very, very strong wall. And also this method of how it absorbs the heat and lets the heat come back out during winter. Another recycled material you'll see quite often in Earthships is glass bottle walls, which are amazing because they let the light through, because we're trying to make the most of using the sunlight. So if we have the glass bottle walls, they let more light through into your building. Point 3 is eliminating the need for power, or being able to generate their own power. And we can see here we're outside. We've got some solar panels here, and also just behind me this way you can see a wind turbine. Apparently the wind turbine here isn't very effective because the council wouldn't allow them to build it tall enough, so it doesn't really capture that much wind, but the solar panels are very effective. The great thing about Earthships is they're using nature around them, in that they're using the heat from the sun to warm that back wall, and it warms the house. Like I already said before, Laura, say something new, this video is getting boring. And while we're here on the roof, we'll do point number 4, which is the water collection system. So we see here this serrated roof that collects the water, and the water goes through down into some big tanks under the ground and it gets filtered. There's a few various procedures of the filtration process that Laura's little brain didn't quite get, but basically something happens through gravity and you get drinking water at the end. So that's great. And then the other bit I really love about the water is that it gets used 3 times. So what happens is the water goes through into your taps. You have a drinking water tap, a hot water tap, a cold water tap. Water that gets left over from you having a shower and from washing your dishes, it goes through one filtration process, just literally through what the lady said is just effectively a pair of tights, takes out any grease or any debris, and then it goes and waters all the plants. After the water goes to water all the plants, it gets pushed through into another area where it gets used to flush your toilet. So I feel like that's a brilliant way. We're so wasteful with water now, and what she was saying is we use pure drinking water to flush our toilet. That seems mad. And through Earthships, it's a much more effective way of using water. Point number 5 is growing plants. Because we have this conservatory inside, we can grow our own plants, grow our own food. And the lady Gillian, who gave the tour, she was living in an Earthship in France for 7 years, and she said that she grew oranges and lemons inside her house. So what a cool idea that you could be, your plant bed could be growing all the food you need to eat as well, to make you even more self-sustainable. In this model here in Brighton, because it's a community centre, someone doesn't live here, they just have very basic plants. But if you were to have your own Earthship, you know, you could be growing courgettes in there, whatever you want, it'd be great. Point number 6, the final point, is sewage. Sewage gets processed on site. Again, my small brain, because this is all very new information for me, it was quite hard to take it all in, but through some system, the sewage gets processed on site. She talked about using a reed bed. Perhaps Google that if you want to find more about how the sewage works. I'm going to go home and Google a reed bed, find out what that means. When I grow up, I want to live in an Earthship. Dad, please, can I have an Earthship? Please, can I have a pony and an Earthship? I don't really want a pony. I do want an Earthship. Earthships can take a long time to build. The lady who gave the tour, Gillian, said hers took 26 weeks, but this one here in Brighton actually took 3 years to build, because firstly you've got the costs. I think it took them a while to raise the funds to build the building. Also, it's very labour intensive. In permaculture, the model they work in is 80-20, so 80% effort at the beginning and then 20% maintenance. And what Gillian reckoned is that Earthships are actually 90-10. They're very labour intensive to build and to set up, but then once you're going, it's easy peasy and very simple maintenance. I just really like this Earthship because it's an interesting looking building, and I love the idea of living more in tune with nature and being more resourceful. I've given you the brain basics, which would fit in my little skull. If you want to find out more, I recommend Googling Earthships online and getting more stuck in. There's some great documentaries. There was a Grand Designs done about an Earthship built in Brittany in France. Thank you very much for watching my Brighton Earthship tour, and have a great day. If you would like to follow more of my adventures, please like my page on Facebook, subscribe to my YouTube channel, or visit my website and subscribe to my newsletter to hear it all first. I also recommend visiting Brighton Earthship and enjoying a tour for yourself so you can get a real feel for it. All the details at www.lowcarbon.co.uk. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon.